All right, guys, well, here's the next little project for the day. It's got a little boo-boo. This guy's bent pretty bad. I'm on the wrong side of the light. On this side here. Turns out this trailer here carries some wire reels, and it got hit from the back, and so it bent this gooseneck section. So we're going to replace it with that right there. And they did pretty good. It's pretty decent welds. Yeah, not bad for, you know, however old this is. It's a nice, well, you can't see the side either, but it's a nice little trailer. Of course, it looks very home built, and it is home built, but it works, right? So now my goal is to go from this diameter, which is 3.5 to 4.5, and install it. So I'm going to see how we can cut around this very cleanly. Just open up those saddles a little bit bigger, that way it all fits. So stick around, let's see what we can do with this thing. All right, so right now I'm just gonna focus on cutting this guy off. There's no need to worry about leveling the trailer as of yet, so we can put the other one on straight. So I'm just gonna get the plasma cutter, cut around these tubes as best I can, cleanly as I can, and then try and center up that new piece right in this area here. It's gonna be interesting because I hadn't done one of these before. This is, you know, round pipe onto round pipe. It's a pretty good challenge, so that'll be nice. A nice little project. I'll most likely only need to open up this saddle side here, both sides, to accept the 4.5 inch round, whatever that was. So let me just start cutting this up, and then we'll clean it up and trim it and get it to fit in a little bit. Hang on. Okay, so as we're looking at it, you can obviously tell there's two layers in there, outer sleeve and an inner sleeve, which is fine, but that's what was making it more challenging to cut out. Now, some may ask why I didn't just cut it all out as one piece. I used to think it was really cool to do that. Try to remove it as all one section, but that's kind of silly, taking extra time for nothing. Whereas this way, to me, it's a little bit quicker in the sense that I can kind of see where I'm going instead of having to completely guess. It's kind of hard to explain, but being that this was going to be thrown away anyway, just chop it up, get it out of the way, and make it easier on yourself. Now, one of the things I was initially concerned with is this having some kind of spring tension built up in it, but these little arms here and there are holding it fine for now, so that's good. That helps me in this situation. So now I can kind of start focusing on being able to look in there and look through here as I'm cutting to ensure that I'm getting through both layers, and that way this piece will fall off. It is going to be a little challenging, to get to some of these spots, but that's quite all right. That's part of the job. Same thing here, a little bit of a challenge, but that's okay. That's why they call it work, right? So let me keep chopping away at this and seeing how cleanly I can do it. That way I can, have as little cleanup as possible. Not that I'm lazy, but less work for the worker individually, the better. Why not make it easier on yourself where you can? So let's see what I can do. All right, so here we see I got through the layer on there a little bit too much. You see a buildup of rust and junk, but this is just the inner side of that sleeve that the pipe set in. It looks like a cool heart shape, but anyway, so now what I can do is just slowly start trimming away at that until I get to this edge here. I don't want to get too crazy because it turns out that's only maybe a 3/16 or so thickness pipe, so I can accidentally overdo it if I'm not careful and cut off too much. So I'll have to be watching for the separation line as I'm cutting, and that way I know it's coming apart. So things are looking good. The benefit to using this back part as the 0 mark is that I can cut that saddle a little bit wider to accept that round, so that'll be nice. I'll just keep test fitting it, see where I need to cut it. I could possibly make a template, I guess, and kind of see if it fits, so we'll have to see. But let's keep chopping away at it. Okay, a little bit more chewing. I need to chew these little edges there. I can tell that that's part of the sleeve instead of the tube, so I can go in there and cut that out a little bit better. I wonder if we can see any better. But either way, it's very delicate because I don't want to cut too much and then create a big gap when I put in the new piece. So slowly but surely, doesn't hurt. All right, so let's keep going. All right, when I had to finish this up, I ended up poking a hole there, so hopefully I can get around that. And that cleaned up okay. And I need a mirror to show you guys. Or my trusty little handy flashlight. You know, it looks like I chewed it off, right? But I did. So got that off. I think I'm gonna go ahead and try and get a circle out of cardboard that mimics that piece there, to kind of just hold it in the air and kind of see if where I need a trim, mark it here and there. So let's try that, and we'll use this backside as the baseline as my zero. Hopefully that's pretty straight or plumb or both. We'll have to see. I think I'm gonna go ahead and, well, not yet. I was gonna say I was gonna go ahead and level the trailer, but I don't want to do that yet because this is so handy. When I level the trailer, this nose goes down about another foot, so work on it while I can at this height. All right. Whew. All right, well, it looks like I got a lot more to go. We'll see. Ah. Okay. Whoop, too much. Okay, so that looks pretty rough, but it's closer. It's looking a lot closer than it was earlier. So now I may put a tab across here. It turns out that these closed up a bit more than expected. A lot of tension in there, so I'll put something across here to hold that position. Same thing with here, and then I can fine-tune the rest of this with the grinder, because that is about as close as I can get it with a plasma cutter. At first I'm using the chainsaw, now I'm using, you know, the carving knife, right, with the then I'll do the scalpel, right, get a little bit more precise. So this is turning out to be a little more challenging than I expected, but you know, that's cool. I hadn't done one of these before like this, so it's a learning process. All right, gotta keep going. Close enough, right? It'll work. It'll hold it. And it's so nice. Okay, so that worked out well, man. That is so fast. I think I'm liking it. Just one pass just to hold it in place, right? It's nothing really critical or structural. It's just to keep these spaced out even enough for me to start grinding on them. So let me see about fitting that tube in here and getting it tacked up. All right, so I cleaned that up a little bit, but now I think it's time to start dropping the trailer neck down, because this points up that way. So if I can drop it down, then we can at least make sure that this ends up being vertical and plumb to say. So let me do that next. All right, so I got this top level this way, and that's what I'm going to use as my reference mark. And I'm not going to go across the top of this here because these are kind of off this way. So I'm going to try and use the side, which is not much better, but it's close. So I'll just use a jack, put the jack on that side and tilt it up so it's level, and then we'll just go with that. These things are always a challenge because nothing is ever straight or level, but we're gonna do the best we can. So let me get that jack. Okay, so I got that level there. Be close enough. All right, let me start fitting it a little bit closer, a little bit better. All right, well, this is as close as it's gonna get. I ended up using a 4.5 inch wheel, same diameter. Where'd it go? There's that guy right there. I used 5 inch wheels, so this one was worn down enough. And basically, I just did that number up and down. Kind of worked. So still got a little bit of gaps here and there, but you don't tell anybody, I won't tell anybody. And it's looking pretty good as far as plumb and level, or plumb, either way. It's straight. So I'm gonna go ahead and tack it on there the way it is. And I hope I'm not wrong, but from my understanding, these bolts go forward. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna put them forward and hope it's right. But yeah, that's next. Tack it on there. All right. Okay, so that's about as close as it's gonna get. Man, this was some wrestling to get that put on there. But you know, it's got a little bit of gap there. Pretty good fit up there. I got more of a gap here, but you don't tell anybody, I won't tell anybody. Ooh, I gotta make sure to be away from that hole. and it looks good, more or less. And I am half a degree out, but this one is where is it? Well, it was 89.9. Close enough. So I'm gonna leave it at that. I just need to move this a little bit lower. So, all right, we're gonna weld it there, because you can fight these things all day, and ultimately for what, right? You know, this is just a trailer, and while there is a lot of stress on it, more weld, you know, be a little bit stronger. So let me tap this down a little bit and start to welding it. Works pretty good. Okay, so you can kind of see the pulses there that I did. Did they come off? Same thing at the bottom. It's getting a little late. Got a couple more things to do on this thing, so I'll show you guys in the morning. So hang tight. Well, all right, guys, it's the next morning. Last night got a little bit late, but I got this thing finished up. Turned out all right. Not bad. I'm still getting used to using dual shield, and it worked out pretty good. I did have some gaps, of course, like I know some of you guys saw, but that pulsing action really helped it out a lot. Just on off on off. It almost looks like semi dimes, right? It worked out really good even underneath. So not a bad little project. It was a little tougher than expected, but but it worked out. So hope you learned something. I know I did. I learned that was tough, but anyway, I appreciate the support, and again, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.